Being an empath is a beautiful thing because we're born with so many amazing gifts. Now, of course, some of us, we may develop and uncover our gifts sooner than others. Sometimes, the gifts, they come at a later time, but every single empath is born with some beautiful, beautiful gifts. In this video, I want to share with you 6 of those gifts that every single empath is born with, whether you know it or you don't. So if you feel like that you are an empath, then this video is for you, because maybe you are aware already of all the beautiful gifts that you have, and maybe you're not. I know for myself, I didn't realize that I was an empath until I was already in my late 30s, and it was my coach who had dropped the ball on me, like, have you ever thought about that you're an empath? And I'm like, I'm a what? But the beautiful thing is, whether you know it or you don't, you do have many beautiful gifts. And I just want to share with you some of those gifts, just to give you some awareness in case you're not even aware that you might have that gift. The first gift every single empath has is the deep level of compassion. Like, you just have this really, really big heart. You just want to help everyone, right? And you're also very understanding. So really being compassionate with, for example, when someone tells you how, what they're going through, that maybe they're going through some pain and some discomfort or anything like that, you're really so compassionate for it. You just want to take their pain away from them so they don't have to suffer. That is truly one of those signs that you're an empath. I mean, I'm pretty sure since you're here, I do believe that deep down within your heart, you're an empath. But if there's any question about it, after I share with you those 6 gifts, you're probably going to be a whole lot more sure that, yep, I'm an empath. Now, when I first found out I'm an empath, I didn't know all these things. I felt all these different things, but I didn't know. So I really hope with this video that I can give you some insights into that, so you are really aware that yes, you are an empath. But like I said, the first one is really, you have this deep compassion for animals, for people, for situations, and you're really just also very understanding, even more understanding than maybe other people, because you just simply have that compassion for other people. You also can feel more into their situation. You really understand them better, even though maybe you've never experienced what they're going through. But since you have this big heart and you're so compassionate, you have a better understanding. You really understand them at a deeper level. And because of your compassion, you just really have a deeper understanding than someone that is not an empath. The second gift that every empath is born with is, we are natural healers. Now, this can mean many different things. A healer doesn't necessarily need to mean that you're going into like the healing profession or energy healing or medical industry or anything like that. That's not necessarily what I'm talking about. It's also when people just love to be around you, that they feel so much better after they have talked to you, or that, they were with you for a little while and then they're leaving, they're feeling so much better. That also is what I'm talking about. But if you are in the profession of any kind of profession, like the healing, the mentoring, the coaching, or anything like that, or even a spiritual business, it will make you a much, much better healer. Or in your profession, it just makes you so much better, because also with the compassion, with you just wanting to help. Because as a natural healer, I mean, we want to help, right? We want to just help people. We wish we could just take the pain away from the world, from the pain, from the agony, from the people, everything. And that's because deep down, we are natural healers. We have the gift of healing. And that can mean also so many different things. For example, I don't do hands-on healing. I use light language for the healing. I do channeling for the healing. But you can also use painting, coloring, creating different things. Anything like that can also have a healing touch to it, because it's the energy that you pour into it is what's healing. But when you're in a profession that is of somewhat of like a service-based industry of helping someone, it's just, you being a natural healer just makes you even more powerful, even more impactful. But if you are even not in a profession, a healing kind of or service-based profession, if you're just a regular person and you're living your life, you're on the spiritual awakening journey, you will also be able to heal people simply by you being you. And people being in your surrounding will feel so much better. Like, just think back. Have you ever had a person come to you that they were just absolutely upset, and they talked to you, and then they left, the conversation and it felt so much better. That's not just because what you said to them, but it's just them being in your energy that was healing and uplifting to them. So empath, natural born healers. Then the third beautiful gift is that we're highly intuitive. Empaths are usually highly intuitive, whether the intuition has already been developed or maybe it will develop at a later time. But as empaths, we are highly intuitive. So our sixth sense is really developed. Maybe even all of your four clears or multiple of your clears are very developed. As an empath, you also feel more drawn to the higher realms, the other side, maybe even working with the angels or anything like that, maybe tarot or energy healing, crystals, and those type of things, because these are things that are tools for us to really tap more into our intuitive senses. When you work with tarot or oracle cards or anything like that, that also helps you really tap into your intuitive senses. Think of it that it's like I wouldn't say a crutch, but it's a tool for you to tap into your intuitive senses. But the more you work with your intuitive senses, you actually can just tune in and right away get guidance. It's like channeling in a way. But as empath, the more you work with those gifts, the more they develop. Now, here I just want to mention something. Every single empath has these gifts, but like I mentioned, some they develop their gifts later, or they become aware of their gifts later. Some they have their gifts early on, and like I said, some it comes later. Now, you still have those gifts of intuition, of feeling more, of being compassionate. Just maybe if you were unaware that you're an empath, maybe just you have those gifts and not even being aware of that. But now that you have more of the awareness that you're probably an empath, just look over your life and see where have you really been very intuitive, where have you really felt that deep need to really just go out there and heal the world or anything like that, or help people, or where have you been really compassionate. Because like I said, we all have those beautiful gifts, but being highly intuitive is definitely a gift every single empath has, but that one may just be something that is not as apparent until later on, and that also the gift of intuition needs to be developed as well. That's why, like, if you really want to develop your intuition, I highly recommend work with oracle cards, work with crystals, work with the angels, work with tarot, or anything like that, whatever you feel drawn to. But doing that kind of work will help you tap even more into your intuition. But intuition you definitely have. Your sixth sense is definitely very much more developed than any non-empath. So it's truly a beautiful gift to have and to develop. Because as you're then also developing this gift of intuition, it can really change your life in so many ways, because then if you have a question, well, you just tune in, you get the guidance, and you have an answer. Definitely a beautiful thing. So the fourth gift is that you also have the ability to a more intense connection to others. Like when you're in a relationship or you are committed, when you love, you love unconditionally, you love deeply. Now, the drawback from this is that sometimes when you are in a relationship with someone that doesn't understand that, it can be quite overwhelming, because us empath, like I said, when we love, we love. When we are in a relationship, we're committed, we're in it. We are, I wouldn't say clingy, but we just feel so much. Now, you also feel your own feelings more intense, but then you also pick up on the feelings of your partner, of other people, of your friends. So even though you really have the ability for a deep connection, an unconditional kind of love connection, the problem with that is also you're feeling so much, so you can also then feel other people's stuff, which can cause problems, because especially if they're not really aware of you feeling that much, it can be too much for them, and that can cause problems. So I just want to mention that, but here you can also protect yourself and really set clear boundaries. Now I have a video for you that I want to recommend you check out, is like how to really set your boundaries, because as you're feeling so much, which in a way, yes, it may sound like not so much of a gift, but it is truly a beautiful gift once you learn how to harness it, once you learn how to protect yourself, so you can be with other people without being overwhelmed by all that you are feeling. Because like I said, we truly have this ability for this deep unconditional connection, which can be kind of overbearing to other people who are not aware of this, or who are not open to this, or who simply don't really understand that. Now, of course, if you're in a relationship with another empath, oh my god, I mean, I think this is like very, very intense, just like feeling. But even though being an empath, you have this ability to really feel deeply, which is a beautiful thing, because so many other people, they don't have that ability to feel what we empaths feel. Now, like I said, it's definitely about learning how to harness it. Like when I first uncovered me being an empath and feeling all these things, it was intense. It was very overwhelming. For a time, I didn't want to be around people. It was not until I really learned how to harness that, how to really protect myself, how to tune down the intenseness so I can actually be around other people without being overwhelmed by it. Now, I do mention that as a gift because it is truly a gift. I know for myself, me being an empath helps me tremendously when I work with my clients, because I feel when their energy shifts. I feel when something is stuck, when there's stuck energy within them, so I can undo my work of healing and releasing. So yes, there are drawbacks of feeling so intensely if you don't know how to manage it. Now, I also have a playlist with empath survival tips that I highly recommend you check out, where I talk about these things as well, about protecting your energy and everything. The links are in the description, check that out. But still, having the ability to feel so much is truly beautiful, because it helps you have that deeper connection with another person. And of course, if you are in somewhat of a service-based industry, whether it's your coach, a mentor, a healer, have a spiritual business, or anything like that, or even if it's just you're being a loving partner, loving parent, it can truly help you once you learn how to harness it. Okay, but having that gift is truly beautiful. The fifth gift is that empaths are usually highly creative. Whether it's you have a green thumb, that when you're just working with plants, I mean, they just grow like crazy. Like you literally have that green thumb and you love having like flowers and stuff in your home. You may also be a really great artist, whether it's painting, drawing, or if it's anything creative, art related. It's also one of those things that we really have that gift for. Maybe singing, or being an author, or writing, or just music, or anything that is of the creative expression. That's what is really one of our gifts. We're really good in expressing ourselves creatively, whether it's creating programs or anything like that, or even just creating YouTube videos. It's also a creative outlet. We also are overflowing with ideas for those creative things, because we have so much that we want to give, and being creative allows us to give in a specific way, in a creative way. So maybe you want to look around in your life. Where are you allowing your creative juices to really flow? And if you're not, maybe start something, because us empaths, we need a creative outlet. Like I said, whether it's writing, singing, dancing, painting, drawing, I mean, you name it, whatever it is, and even just gardening as well. Whatever you can do to be creative is really, really powerful for you to also harness your gifts even more. But one of the gifts is really, the fifth gift is that empaths are highly creative beings that just want to share, because when we share those things, we're giving something from us. We are putting our energy into the art that we're creating, and whatever it is, and that makes an impact. So being highly creative, definitely a sign that you're an empath. And the sixth and final one is, and I really love that one, is we are amazing lie detectors. And what I mean with that is, since you're so deeply connected with the people, right? You're so compassionate, you feel so much, where you're also picking up when someone is BSing you, when someone is lying to you, when someone is dishonest with you, because you will feel it. Well, okay, you may not feel it the same way as, let's say, I feel it. Like, it all depends on how you pick up on the frequencies. But I know for me, when I am around someone that is dishonest, I feel the energy constricting. I feel it kind of like heavy and just cold. And I feel also the energy kind of dropping. So being an empath and having the ability of really picking up when someone is BSing you, or someone is lying to you, is truly beautiful, because then no one can run one over on you no more. Because then you are aware. Now, of course, you may not want to call them out on it, but then you for yourself, you're aware, like, something is not right here, right? So truly a beautiful thing. I've done this with my son before. Whenever he said something, I'm like, this doesn't feel right. So then I was able to kind of poke a little bit more. Now I also use this gift with clients, actually, and it's not so much about lying, but it's like when they are not really allowing themselves to really be honest with themselves. If they're hiding something, I also have the ability to like pick up on that. But you may want to pay attention next time when you're talking to someone, and just pay attention to the energies. When they're maybe telling your story, maybe they're putting a little bit more into the story than there really was. Or maybe they're telling you something like a white lie, right? Just pay attention to the energy that is coming through when they're talking. That can also help you kind of sharpen that gift as well, because like I said, once you really learned how to pick up when someone is lying to you, no one can ever lie to you ever again. No one can ever be dishonest with you, because you will know. And of course, what you then do with that, that's absolutely up to you. Now, it can still be painful when someone lies to you and you're picking up on it, but at least then you know right away instead of finding it out later. So I think this is a beautiful, beautiful gift to have, being this beautiful lie detector, because like I said, no one can run one over you on you anymore. Okay, so here are the beautiful 6 gifts that every single empath is born with, whether you know it or not. Like I said, some of those gifts may develop later. Now, the more you really work with this, the more you really tune into each of those gifts, of course, they will develop even more. But every single empath has these gifts. But now I want to ask you though, what are your superpowers as an empath? What is one of your powers that you just love? Do me a favor, leave a comment below. I would love to know. But now I did mention also, being an empath, even though you have these beautiful superpowers, of course, there are those drawbacks as well, especially if you haven't learned how to really harness your gifts. So check out the playlist about, the empath survival tips. And even if you have specific questions around being an empath, feel free to leave a comment below. Let me know. I would love to do a video for you, helping you figure this one out, or giving you some guidance throughout the videos. Because if you have that question, or just a challenge, I'm pretty sure others do too. So if there's anything I can do to create for you to help you, just drop it in a comment below. Let me know, and I would love to create a video for you. Okay, so thanks so much for being here. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to check out this next video about how to really set those clear boundaries, so you can really protect yourself. And I look forward to seeing you again in the next video. Until then, make it an amazingly abundant, successful day. Namaste.